Hello again, Shaitan here, bringing you another game between Stephano and sLivko, this time on Metalopolis for the deciding game number 3, I'll call it, in their group stage series at ESWC. We have sLivko spawning in the upper position as the yellow Zerg, and Stephano spawning as the pink Zerg in the center right position. Now they are close by air, so this means we should see a fairly long macro game, as these two overlords can just plant themselves over the hatchery, and nothing can drive them out until a queen comes. So this means that they're both going to be able to very, very safely get their expansions up, and then you can see some interesting things after that, because if your opponent throws down their spawning pool, you can build a drone extra, maybe 2 drones extra, and then build your own spawning pool, end up 1 or 2 drones ahead, and just because of travel distance, you'll be able to have your Zerglings out in time to defend. So you can end up in some very weird situations where you can go hatchery, then build a pool, get a gas, and then actually expand to your third, just because you know that your opponent's pool is going to be very, very delayed if you can sort of almost agree with each other to delay your pools until about 20 is probably the latest pool I've ever seen in this situation. And we can already see this sort of happening, is that sLivko's going up to 16 drones before he built his hatchery. It's going to start a little bit later, but he is going to have the slight drone edge right now. And we'll see how they decide to continue on after this. We see the sLivko is going for his gas afterwards, so he's going to be a little bit greedier, and they're continuing to build drones up. We see that Stephano actually sort of breaks the trend and gets a pool almost immediately, and sLivko is going to follow suit very, very soon. We'll see if he sneaks out one more drone. No, it doesn't look like it. So sLivko was able to sneak out a gas in between. Basically, his gas is going to be done well before Stephano, so he'll be able to have his speed out a little bit before him as well. And we'll see how the players decide to approach this. We do see that the spawning pool is getting close to finishing for Stephano. I think if he wanted to, he could probably expand over here. It might get dicey if his opponent went for some type of speedling all in, but if he just continued to mine gas and didn't really saturate on drones that much, he could easily, while he was transferring these drones to his natural, break one off and take a hidden third. But we'll see if he decides to do that. sLivko is letting his minerals skyrocket. There's really nothing to be done about that until your pool completes and you can make the queens. And now things are sort of stabilizing. They're both just droning up. We'll see what they decide to do, where they decide to go with this. Both players have seemed to favor opening with speedling, baneling openings. It's going to keep you safe against any sort of early aggression because of just how cost-effective banelings can be, and we do see the baneling nest going down for sLivko. And Stephano should be following suit with that shortly. Not sure what he is waiting for, if anything, maybe just getting out a few extra drones, but we'll see. Both of them have started speed. It's going to finish at about the same time, and sLivko is going to be able to sneak in and see that there is no baneling nest, which is going to be a pretty big tell for him. I wouldn't be surprised if this sort of tells him he needs to go in. He's going to have about 40-second window where he can do damage, and there won't be banelings out for his opponent. Stephano did throw down his baneling nest, but sLivko was able to see that. So we'll see what he decides to do. Stephano is getting a spine crawler. This is going to 2 spine crawlers, actually. Interesting. So this one, I don't know if I like that positioning. So this spine crawler is going to be able to defend right around here, but there's nothing to defend a baneling coming in from the back. This spine crawler should be moved over a little bit, but regardless, it is going to keep him fairly safe against banelings. sLivko is morphing some defensive banelings and actually droning up quite heavily, making units quite heavily. We'll see why. He knows the baneling nest on the way. I guess he's expecting some sort of aggression from Stephano, and it looks like Stephano's going to lose an overlord, so this is going to limit his vision really to this being the first glimpse he'll have of any sort of speedlings coming in. And Stephano sends out a few speedlings right here. They're not going to be able to catch the queen. There's banelings right here that'll be able to defend quite easily. And really just nice pick off there by sLivko. In terms of harvesters, sLivko has a slight lead 33 to 31. He is getting a Roach Warren. His opponent is getting the Evo Chamber, which is really what Stephano seems to favor. Getting that Evo Chamber first, and then adding on the Roach Warren, getting +1 right away, and having some powerful roaches when he decides to make them. And we can see that Stephano's actually set up kind of a, I guess you could call it a light contain. It's a little bit odd to say that in a ZvZ, but that's really what it is. He doesn't want his opponent running out, and he's spreading out his banelings, so he'll be able to keep his opponent in here. And in the meantime, he's taking a very, very fast third base. So if he can keep his opponent in here, keep him afraid of the banelings for long enough, then he'll be able to get a significant economic lead. And we can see that the banelings are trying to go in right now. They're going to catch a few. They caught 2 or 3 really nice right there, and that's why you need this. That's why you need this second spine crawler over here to catch banelings that go around this long route. But only two drones were lost. A couple more were damaged, but not all too bad. We do see that Stephano is going to jump ahead incredibly in drones. He's already up 13. So right now, sLivko does not know about this third base, and he really just, I think he almost might have missed his timing. As terrible as that is to say, he's still on on hatchery tech. He has some roaches, about 9 of them. But Stephano is pumping them out very, very fast. He's going to have his own +1 about 30 seconds after his opponent. And there's going to be a very, very slim window before the advantages of this hatchery kick in, or outweigh rather, making all of these extra drones, that he will have to do damage. And instead, it looks like he's going to take his own expansion. It is immediately spotted by Stephano's lings. They shouldn't be able to cancel it or anything. There's only 2 of them, and these lings come in to stop them, but it is going to be behind Stephano's, and we can see right now that Stephano is up 16 drones, and I don't think sLivko is going to move out for any sort of aggression. He is going to catch a couple of these roaches, which is a nice pickoff, but I'm kind of surprised that he's moving out while he's taking this third base, because if his opponent holds off this attack, he's not going to really be able to defend any sort of counterattack, because he'll just have sunk so much money into this hatchery. But we do see him moving ahead, and there is 1 spine crawler, there are a bunch of roaches, some nice baneling hits on the roaches, nothing too significant, but sLivko falls back. And he actually has a 5 roach lead, but I guess these Zerglings are going to be able to buffer the damage enough that he's going to be forced back. He's probably always going for a bit of a surround. He didn't get a complete one, but he's going to be able to pick off a few roaches here and there, which is exactly what he wants to do. Stephano now holds the roach lead. He's still up in drones by only 4, but remember that he had his drones up a lot earlier than sLivko did, so he's been reaping the benefits of a stronger economy for quite some time. Now Stephano is forcing the issue here. I wouldn't really recommend this. I mean, you know you have the economic lead. Just sort of, when you're ahead, get more ahead. And sLivko should be able to hold this off. They both have +1, +0. There's a spine crawler in the back just doing significant damage to these roaches. He was able to pick off the queen, which is nice, because now sLivko only has 1 queen compared to the 3 of Stephano. So Stephano will be able to just have more larvae to build stuff with, and we can see that with what they're restocking. So Stephano is able to reload with 18 lings and 2 roaches, while sLivko is only really able to afford a few roaches, partially because of money. Like, look at how low his money is. Very nice macro from sLivko, but also because he only has 1 queen, and he's just started. No, he hasn't even. He only has the 1 queen, and he hasn't began production on another one. So we see that he does have 23 roaches right now, but Stephano is going to be able to overtake him quite easily. And Stephano is also getting a macro hatch in his main. So he's going to be able to overcome the current roach advantage that sLivko has very, very soon. He's still ahead in drones, 55 to 46. So we'll see if Stephano can take this series, close it out to win 2-1. We do see sLivko is moving out right now, while Stephano is actually going for a counterattack. So this third base will probably die. He should have spotted it with this Overlord. But we'll see what Stephano can do. He's heavily outnumbered here. And sLivko is probably going to be able to take out all of these roaches. There are reinforcements coming in from Stephano. He's making 11 roaches right now, and his +2 should finish fairly soon. But I think sLivko might have broken him there, but we do see all of these Zerglings running in. They're just bypassing the Spine Crawler, going right into the main. We'll see what they can do. They're going in anything they can, kind of getting stuck on this roach right here. Meanwhile, sLivko is doing a lot of damage to Stephano's roaches. He still has about 15 roaches left. It looks like the Zerglings of Stephano are going to be cleaned up by sLivko over here. But we see that Stephano is getting just beaten down. He's down about 20 supply. He has 7 roaches to the 34 of his opponent. And Stephano is really just turning around right now. He's pulling all of his drones. He's like, he loses his natural hatchery, and he might be able to drive off this first set of roaches, but we'll see if he can actually defend the assault in its entirety. Now, the one thing he does have going for him is he is still ahead in drones by about 20, and now he's even on hatches with his opponent because he was able to take out the third. And remember that now sLivko has 0 queens because Stephano was able to pick it off in the assault. He is now making 2, but he hasn't had a larva production from those queens, while Stephano has had 3 queens worth of production for a while, and he is still on 2. Now, sLivko is going back in for another assault, but I don't know if that's good. Stephano's roaches are +2, +1. He has a lot of Zerglings to buffer the damage, and now they're just kind of slugging it out. We see that it's almost even, no, it's not. Sorry, 24 roaches to the 17 of Stephano, but it looks like only about 17 of them are here, so it's even counts for both players at this engagement. And so I think that Stephano is going to be able to take this one just because of his upgrade advantage. He's +2, +1 versus the +2, +0 of sLivko, and now Stephano has taken the supply lead. He's up about 30 right now. So we'll see how this works out. Stephano is moving ahead right now. He's up about 9 roaches, and he might be able to do significant damage into the natural if he forces the issue. At the very least, he'll be able to go and cancel this third base while retaking his natural. So we'll see what he decides to do. We do see burrow movement coming down from sLivko, so he's going to try and do some sort of shenanigans. But we see that Stephano already has this overseer, so he should be very well aware of the dangers. He does know his opponent has burrow at the very moment. So we'll see what happens. One thing I've noticed is Stephano seems to get supply blocked a lot more in his ZvZs than his ZvTs and ZvPs, but it's nothing too significant. Stephano is forced to flee right now. Lost 1 or 2 roaches, nothing too significant. But the real story right now is that Stephano is still up 18 drones to his opponent. He has about 10 supply lead, and as soon as he gets rid of his supply blocks, he'll be able to have that balloon even more. And oh wow, Stephano was actually able to force a cancel or destroy this building hatchery. So it's going to be a 3-base Stephano versus a 2-base sLivko for even longer. In terms of queens, it's now 2 injects versus 2, but we have this macro hatchery as well for Stephano. So really, sLivko is just going to fall more and more behind the longer he waits. He's going to hit as soon as this +1 carapace finishes. That's what he's going to want to do. He's going to have the slight roaches advantage, and so really that's the best that he can hope for, because right now Stephano is ahead about 30 supply, and that difference is just going to get larger as the game goes on, just because of how much infrastructure and economy Stephano has. Now we do see roaches are burrowing in. There's 2 going into the main, and about 3 that look like they're going to try and sneak into the third. Kind of curious about that. Why he sent such a small force. All of them get picked off basically immediately. I don't think anything really useful was done with them. Stephano knows exactly where they are. You can sort of see a light shadow, I believe, moving across the ground. So these roaches will be taken down. sLivko is finally going to be able to take his third, but Stephano has had his running for so much longer that there's not really going to be much that sLivko can do. Now, these 3 roaches are going to be able to pick off a couple drones and hopefully flee with their lives. The really only thing that sLivko has going for him is the fact that his pathogen gland and infestors are going to come so much sooner than Stephano's. And as Idra could tell you, pathogen glands can really change the course of a game. If you can get off some nice fungals, you can, I think it's 3-shot or 3 fungal your opponent's roaches. So if you get a nice hit off on a big clump of them, you can really turn the tides of a battle in your favor. We'll see he is getting 7 infestors. Stephano is getting his own infestation pit. It just finished. He should be getting his own pathogen glands fairly soon. Once he has the mineral spore. A little bit odd. His macro is kind of slipping. We'll see what sort of larva he has. He has a lot of larvae. He's just not making stuff. Kind of odd from Stephano, but well, maybe he's saving up for the infestors. I think that would make sense. He wants to get about 8 infestors out to deal with this army, but it looks like they're not going to come in time. He's going to want to start making them now. He's making 7 of them, but I don't think they're going to arrive in time for this army to deal with this army. He does have a lot of spine crawlers, so that'll help, as well as this roach army. He's going to also counterattack into the third and probably be able to take it out. But really, the main action is going to be here. The spine crawlers are doing a lot of damage, but they're almost being one-shot by the roaches. The infestors are sort of waiting in the background to get the good fungals, and they're probably going to hit this group right here, and they do. sLivko should be able to break through this. It's even on upgrades, and he has the roach advantage. But we see that Stephano is going to be able to probably do significant damage in the natural of his opponent. He just has more roaches here, but we'll see how it works out. Stephano is really... all the infestors came out for Stephano. He's able to get some nice fungal growths on the roaches of sLivko and then drop some infested herons. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. In the unit counting station, we see that Stephano is just able to reload much faster than his opponent. So he's back up to 29 roaches versus the 7 of sLivko, and so I think this is going to be GG. These roaches were just able to do enough damage and pick off any reinforcements coming from sLivko, so that Stephano's reinforcements, which are coming from a much closer distance, were just able to turn the tides of this battle, specifically those infestors. So GG, Stephano takes the series in the group stages 2-1.